Peace. Good morning. How you doing, families? Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. It is September the 22nd. Promise you, I hate when I look down to remember the date, but it's September 22nd, and it is a Thursday. This week has definitely flown by, and this week is close to being over, especially for those who live for the weekend, who can't wait for the weekend. Whatever that is, whatever that process is for you. Um, Good morning, like always. Peace to you. I pray that your morning will be a blessed day. Peace. Good morning, Miss Barry. I haven't seen you in a minute. Good morning to you. For everybody who wakes up this early, this is definitely for you. For everybody who puts themselves in a position to win, this is definitely for you. For everybody that's watching right now, those are in the Facebook space, and those are on the LinkedIn watching it. You may be also watching it on YouTube. So I thank you and I appreciate you. And for those who are even listening on the replay in the podcast world, peace. Good morning, Mr. Trisha. See you later on today. As you see right there, right here, the question that is proposed for you to answer completely: have you ever missed a step? If the answer is yes, it's yes. If the answer is no, which I don't believe it probably is no, because everybody missed a step, especially if you are an adult. If you are above the age of 5, you've missed a step. But what did you do when you missed that step? Like, what steps did you take after you've noticed that you've missed a step? Like, what was that process like? I mean, if it was an emotional process to where you felt real bad, or you fell into a depression, or you looked at it for what it was, and then you took the next step after that, whatever it is and whatever it was, what was that like for you? Again, just even being transparent enough to say, like, man, you know what? I missed plenty of steps in my life, but I'm here to tell the story. I'm here to be open. I'm here to be honest. I'm here to be transparent, just to say, man, I know what it feels like, and I am okay with revealing my truth if I've missed a step. Because I can say for me, I'll speak for myself. I've missed plenty of steps, like so many I can't even number. I can't even write it down because I won't remember all of them. But I can be transparent enough to say I've missed plenty. I missed a whole lot. So that's what we're talking about today, is step by step. So put step by step in the chat, because we're going to take this step by step to a whole new level today. And I just want you to be transparent. I just want you to be open and to be honest about it. About steps, about the steps that you've taken, or about the steps that have been ordered, for you. Because honestly, before our own physical existence, before our own physical birth, our steps was already ordered. That's how our gifts are given to us before we're able, or have even been able, to understand or acknowledge those particular gifts. They were ready for you. But have you been ready to reach up and to receive those gifts, or reach up and to exercise those gifts, or to actually walk in those gifts? Same thing. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it about step by step. For those that are new to the platform, or who's not new to the platform, just know you're going to get definitions, and you're going to get a lot of other good stuff when it talks about these words, just to tap into them. So one thing I need you to do definitely is to go ahead and take this live and share it. Share it on your news feed, or share it in the Facebook group, because it is a blessing for someone to want to bless you. So if you've been waiting for a blessing, bless somebody else first. Sometimes it comes to you in sevenfold, whatever it is. So go ahead and take this live and share it. And then after you share it, go ahead and put the word done inside the chat. But we're going to go ahead and with step by step. Again, the things that resonate with you, just go ahead and write down and put it inside the chat, because it may be able to touch someone else when they look at it on the replay. All right, so let's go ahead and take that leap or let's go ahead and take that step. All right. So the definition of step, there's several definitions of step. And we're going to talk about them. Not all of them, but we're going to talk about the ones that's relevant to what we're communicating about today. Step is a measure or action, especially one of the series taken in order to deal with or achieve a particular thing. I know y'all looking like, man, I see all this red and I see all this white. Like, which way are we going to go? Which way are we going to talk about today, Mr. R2? A measure or action, especially one of a series taken in order to deal with or achieve a particular thing. The inversion is red over white. A measure or action of series taken to achieve. A measure or action of series taken to achieve. That means it's not just a one-time thing. It's not a one and done, because it says step by step. That means that just because you might have missed this step, that doesn't mean that there are no more steps that you need to take. That means there is a series of things that you're going to go through in order for you to achieve that thing. There is a series or a measure of actions that is going to allow you to achieve that particular goal that you have set for yourself. There are actions that need to be taken in order for you to achieve that particular thing. There is a series of things. So just because it didn't happen for you the first time, that doesn't mean you put your hands up and say, I'm done. Because there is a measure that you have to take. There is an acknowledgement that need to be exposed or examined in order for you to achieve that thing. That's why it says a measure. Now, whether you're measuring it out as, like, say, let's put it in a fitness. Let's look at it from a fitness perspective. So you may have your watch, your Apple Watch, or use your phone, whatever it is, and say, I'm getting my steps in today. I want to accomplish 10,000 steps today. So now what you're doing and looking at, you want to do 10,000 steps today. You're measuring your time and you're measuring the things that you know that you have to do throughout the day, the series of events that you're taking throughout the day in order for you to achieve. You see how I'm using the definition? In order for you to achieve that particular goal. So you start doing the math. So, okay, I have 2 15-minute breaks and I got a 30-minute break, or I got an hour break, or let me get up in the morning early before I start my day to try to figure out how am I going to achieve this goal of accomplishing these 10,000 steps. So it is the measure or action of series taken to achieve. So the next definition of step, it says a stage in gradual process, a stage in a gradual process. The inversion on this is white over red. It is a gradual process. So why try to force it? Why try to put the circle in the square? Or why try to fit the square in the circle? It is a due process. Everybody goes through a due process. Everybody has a stage in their life to where their steps is ordered in order for them to get to the end state or the end goal they have for themselves. Put the word gradual in the chat, because a lot of times we don't pay attention to this word gradual because we don't want it like that. I don't want no gradual blessing. I want my blessing now. I don't want no gradual money. I want my money right now because my bills are right now. But what if it takes that gradual process in order for you to actually achieve that end state? That's because that's what it takes to do it. You don't just learn to read a paragraph without learning to read the words, do you? You don't just learn to read the paragraph without understanding the words in order for you to complete the sentence. There is a gradual process to reading that chapter. It is not the chapter, it is the word. Can you understand the word? Can you look at the word for what it is? So acknowledge that the step that you're in is just a stage in the gradual process to get you to where you're striving to go. That is the step by step. Again, like always, I'll say, I'm not just talking to you or at you. I'm just speaking out loud as I'm speaking to myself, because I too, I I want it now. But that's when I have to take a step back and look at it like, okay, where am I at right now? Like, what stage am I in right now? Because if it is a gradual process, let me pay attention to where I am right now in order for me to know where I'm about to go. Because if I am going step by step in this particular series of things, then I need to measure my thoughts with my actions in order for me to learn that the process is gradual and to be okay with it. And the next definition of step is take a particular course of action. It's like, what's next? What are you going to do? Yeah, it didn't work the first time. Yeah, you bumped your head. Yeah, you fell into that hole. Yeah, it didn't feel good. Yes, it hurt. Yes, you were happy that you've made it out. Yes, you feel great today. But what happens when you miss that step? You have to take a particular course of action. Because just know, remember, it is a series taken. So because it didn't work the first time, take a particular course. That's the inversion, is white over red. A particular course. That means I've learned my lesson along the way during my series of steps, and now I know what I don't want to do, or I know where I don't want to go, or I learn how I feel when I'm in this moment, how I feel when I'm in this place, how I feel right now. So now I have to take a particular course. Now I have to take this step. I'm willing to take this step. I understand that a step needs to be taken. I understand that my course has to be so particular to my vision because my goals say so. And you have to be okay that the course is particular. I'd rather have a particular course of action than a course of action that just takes me everywhere except where I want to go. It's okay to be particular because it's for you. It's for you. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. I think a lot of times we sometimes consume ourselves with everybody else's step except the steps that we need to take. Or we've consumed our thoughts on how everybody else got there instead of looking at our particular course. Because it's your particular course that's actually going to get you to where you're striving to go. That's actually going to get you in that place to where you know that I am here because I've worked for it. I'm here because I've acknowledged the steps. I'm here because I know why and I know what steps I've taken in order for me to get here. Just like I say, success leaves breadcrumbs. That means I know how to go back if I miss that step. I know how to continue to travel because the direction that I'm going is progressive. It is forward in nature and actionable because I know that particular thing that I'm doing is for a reason. And it's going to get you there. So step by step is so as to progress gradually and carefully from one stage to the next. So the inversion on this is white over red. So as to progress carefully to the next. Carefully to the next, that means that you're applying your wisdom. That means you're acknowledging that I have taken many steps. I understand that it is a process that I'm in, and in my due time, in my due process, I will progress, but carefully, I will take these next steps. I will exercise and utilize my wisdom in order for me to get myself to the next step or to get myself to the next stage, so as to progress carefully to the next. That means that it's for you. So as to progress, that means I accept what my goal is, or I accept the direction that I'm going, so as to process. That means I assume the process. I assume the progress, and carefully I will take the next step because it's for me. The low-hanging fruit could be for you. If you need a ladder to get the higher fruit that's up in the tree that's making it harder for you to reach, get the ladder and climb and get yourself there. Because that may be your progress. It may not be mine, but carefully we go to the next. So with step by step, let's go ahead and just take this deep dive, right? So we've all heard that the saying or the phrase that a lot of times, whether it was, our parents or coaches or teachers, enlighteners, pastors, whoever it is to you, of course, we've all heard that we need to just take it one step at a time, right? We've all heard it. Hell, some of us have said it ourselves. And some of us has said it to our mentees or our children or whoever it is, like, just take it one step at a time. Focus on the next task at hand and take each day as it comes. But what I want to highlight and focus on is how important the steps are when you miss the step. Because missing a step is just as important as the step by step. Because look at it for what it is. I missed a step. That means that you were in step. That means that you were in the series. That means that you were progressing. But somewhere along the way, you've missed a step. Somewhere along the way, you got tripped up. Somewhere along the way, you tripped your own self up because you didn't pay attention to the steps that you were taking. So you fell into that obstacle. But the best part is, as soon as you acknowledge that you've missed a step, you may be able to see your destination that much more clear because you've acknowledged that you were already going in the direction that you were striving to go, but you just missed the step. And missing the step and seeing it for what it is, there is nothing wrong with that. It's okay. Don't make no one tell you, don't allow anyone to tell you, oh, you missed a step. Like, okay, thank you for your service, for telling me that I missed a step. But now look at it for you. Like, you know what? I did miss a step. And I can't be vulnerable. You know what? Be vulnerable. I am vulnerable enough to take the next step. I'm committed enough to take the next step. I can be honest enough and vulnerable to say I've missed so many steps in my life. That's me talking. I mean, if it's you talking, cool. If it's not, I'm cool too. I am vulnerable enough to say I've missed so many steps in my life that those were the lessons that I've learned. Those might have been hard lessons. Those might have been the days you cried in the shower because you didn't want nobody to see you. Those might have been the days to where it looks like everything that you've tried just didn't work. Everything that you're trying is not working. Every time you say something, it doesn't make sense. But be vulnerable enough to know that you've missed the step. Because when you're vulnerable enough to know that you've missed a step, that means you're building the capacity to be able to take the next step for you. Because as soon as you do the next thing that you know that you're so close, just inches away from achieving that ultimate goal, just because you was vulnerable enough to say, I've missed it. Vulnerable enough to say, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So let me begin the process of creating these series of things that I need to do in order for me to get there. Right? It's like every day or every morning, we may sit down and say, okay, let me think about where I am today. And where do I want to go next? What do I need to do to get there? We can lose sight in what we're striving to do next because we're not paying attention to where we are right now. Because when you begin the process of paying attention to where you are right now, you begin the process of paying attention to the small steps. Because even the small steps is progress. Even the small steps is done in due process. Those small steps are small victories. Those small steps is still getting you from the 1 yard line to the goal line. It can still get you there, but you have to be willing to take it. So now ask yourself this question. What small steps can I make today? That's an honest question. Only those who are willing to ask themselves that question. What small steps can I make today? How many steps do I want to take today? That's by you, not waiting for somebody else to have that conversation with you. You have that conversation with you because it's not everybody's responsibility to take these steps, but it is your responsibility to take your steps, to be accountable for your measures or to be measured your actions. To understand the process, right? Because step by step, living process. Step by step is a listening process. Like, are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to the people that love you? Are you listening to the your intuition? So step by step is also a learning process, especially those who are military. You was even learning by the step by step method or by the numbers, right? So that means that step by step is also a method of planning and processing, as well as it's also a method of progress. So being that it is a learning method, a learning process and a listening process, that means also that step by step is also a healing process. Because it is a healing process, that means that it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something that's going to happen immediately. It's something that is going to happen gradually. And because it's happening gradually, that means that you're continuously to work on it. And you're understanding that it's going to take work and not being afraid of the work, but you are being first vulnerable to know that the steps need to be taken in order for you to accomplish that particular goal, or in order for you to even begin the process of healing, because step by step is also a forgiving process. But you must be willing to forgive yourself even when you've missed a step, even when it didn't work out for you, even when you know that you probably could have done something different. Because after you have forgiven yourself from missing that step, or after you have acknowledged that the step was missed, that it was missed by you, that's how you become able to take the next step, because you forgave yourself from missing the step to begin with. So step by step is a willing process. And the reason why I say step by step is a willing process, because it can only happen to those who are willing to do it. It will only happen for those who are willing to do it. And when you are willing to take that step and you are willing to walk in those steps, then you know that you can accomplish so much more, because you're willing to do it. You accept the order of the steps that need to take place. You accept your responsibility in the steps that you need to do. You accept the gradual process that is going to take in order for you to get there. It is an acceptance of the step by step. All right, that's all I got for you today. But man, it's a process. There's a process that's going to happen for you, but you have to be willing to take the step by step. Y'all be blessed and enjoy the rest of your day. Here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Y'all be blessed. Peace.